would say that they're very welcoming. Almost to the point of like convincing me that I was doing the right thing, where, you know, I come in questioning, this is how I'm feeling. It's like, well, you actually really pass, and I don't understand why you're questioning or what you feel about this, but you're one of us. Stay with our group. You're awesome. And I was just like, I feel awesome. And, you know, I was getting the validation that at the beginning I really wanted and felt that I needed. So it's very, I would say the transgender community is very loving. Granted, each individual is bringing in their own pre-transgendered past that still affects how we operate to this day. And yeah, there's a little cattiness, and it's difficult to work with each other. But I think there's this feeling that if you're going to be brave enough to identify as such, then we need to support each other, because this is, you know, a difficult thing to go through. And there's also this sense of like, it's honorable to be such a rebel, to like claim something other people don't feel that you can claim, or don't know why you would want to claim it. And, you know, I think in the beginning of it all, I wouldn't say there's one person who would say, okay, I want to grow up transgendered, or I want to grow up being gay, or I want to grow up being a lesbian. You've come to the notion, and you identify with it, and you live it. It's like, yes, then, you know, you exemplify all that we want in life, just to be ourselves. The ownership, really, I just began to own everything. I own the fact that, hey, I don't really know much about women, and I own the fact that I have sexist views, and I own like this sense of, I've always had this feeling that taking testosterone, there's like this dumbing down effect that goes on. And I'm not quite sure if it's dumbing down or we're just more laid back, not as stressed out as I was before, you know, thinking about having to wear a dress or to present a certain way. I just own my identity. I'm a guy, and I'm going to talk like a guy, and I'm going to behave like a guy. And, you know, a lot of times it surprises people. They're like, you are so man. I was like, that is the point. In that, working within the community, I think that's owning maleness is also kind of like, okay, well, we need to pick up the ball and do this. And I don't know how much more we need to talk about such and such. When are we going to put action behind it? And these are male characteristics, or at least they're characteristics I see as male. And owning male characteristics, I kind of had to like follow through with that within the trans community. And, you know, I know a lot of MTFs who are, you know, quote unquote mannish, if you want to say that term, like they'll take male characteristics, they'll make things work, you know, they'll make things happen. And that's not a characteristic that we typically find to be female. But I think it kind of has to be a characteristic of a trans person, you know, because it just comes to a certain point in our life that if we're going to identify as transgendered or transsexual or whatever, that we have to pick up the ball and make something happen. So as far as like ownership, I definitely own my actions, and yeah. Well, love and respect. I find that those who are transgendered have begun to love themselves. And once you can love yourself, then you can love other people. So we're all in this boat of trying to, like, you know, accept who we are. And I think that's a main human difficulty, to like love ourselves. For some reason, we're not taught to love ourselves. And maybe it's because we felt so different growing up, or the fact that we are different being transgendered. there have been so many different things that have set us apart that I feel that a want for love and loving ourselves and starting to do that, that's what kind of brings us together. It's happening younger and younger. When I started transitioning, I was 30. I'm 33 now. Now we're looking at, early 20s, late teens, even early teens. And what I would like to see different happening is like the youth kind of stay with that and not become, I guess, kind of staunch like I feel the gay and lesbian community has come. Like they've overcome all these hurdles, and it's like they still hold on to the hurdles. It's like, okay, well, we got over it, but unless you're going over this hurdle, we're not really going to help you out because, we did this to get what we want, and now you want something different. Where in the trans community, everybody has like a different goal pretty much, but yet it's the same goal of like being able to identify and to be who we are. It's almost like transgender takes away the either or. It's no longer are you gay or lesbian. Identifying as transgender doesn't make your sexual orientation part of your identity. It doesn't even make race a part of your identity. Like transgender is a whole different spectrum that just encompasses everything. And I think that's what's amazing with the transgender community, and I hope that's something that, will continue because the umbrella just has more and more definitions like coming into it where gay and lesbian is like, okay, well, you're gay or you're lesbian, and then God forbid you might be bisexual, so I find that there's welcoming and it's open and it's flexible. That's how I found it when I first became involved in the trans community, and I still see that, but with a very young attitude. It's a young mission. It's a young march that's going on, and I'm sure within time, there's going to be more and more visibility. But I'm hoping that with that visibility, there's going to be kind of a different type of awareness where what you look like, who you're with, what you're doing with that isn't going to weigh as much anymore on like a person calling you by your name. It's not gay Travis. It's just going to be Marty. It's just going to be like the one experience I had with marching with Female International, like in the Pride Parade. It was almost like everything kind of stopped when we were marching forward with our banner. And it's like, okay, well, what's so special about FTMs? Well, I think that's kind of the point. There isn't anything too special about us. But we're here. Don't deny the fact that we do exist. I think what helps the community is it's just the support that we give each other. There's something amazing about a guy who's been transitioning for 5, 10,